Kamal, sir. Man, how does it? We just finished watching Warfare. I need your take on it, brother. Talk to me.
Oh my goodness. Warfare. That have that was the coolest movie I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
Stop lying to me, dog.
So much so, okay, we talked about the Revenant. It makes the Revenant look like a kitty play.
The Revenant was good.
The Revenant was good. But Warfare, I don't know any of the actors that were in it. I don't know. The only thing specifically I know about this film is that it took place. It's a period piece from 2009, and A24 distributed it. That's all I know.
So how it ended up becoming one of the best films you've ever seen? I ain't gonna lie. I was on the edge of my seat from the jump, from the first 4 minutes.
Mhm.
I was on the edge of my seat. I'm just hoping that nothing goes wrong. Like from the jump, I'm squeezing my muscles. So they did a good job with keeping me tense. So how I end up being the best film for you?
Like most action guys, I consider myself an action movie guy. 100%. You'll notice a lot of the films that we'll be talking about, some of them will be horror, some of them will be romantic, but the ones that are always going to be my favorite, if it happens to be a good film, is an action film. I'm an action guy, absolutely love it. In this movie, you take out the romance out of it. It had no romance. It had no calling home to the wife. This was a movie about several Navy SEALs, and they were on a mission, and it's a simple mission. Most of these guys is pretty much reconnaissance. They're trying to go out here and find out who these people are, where they living at, and what they doing. They collect their information, and then they come on back. And the goal is to do it so incognito, so I don't want to use the word incognito, but so undercover, so covert that you don't even know that they were there. But what happened was these people found out, the enemy, they called them jihad, found out that they were there. And they had to suit it up, boot it up, man. It was like he said, like Greg said, it was 100% adrenaline pumping rush pumping
So
blood.
you would call this, and I didn't check it before watching it, but you would call this an action film?
At its most action of the action.
Well, I think
You
when we
got
think action, we think a lot of
stunts.
fighting, kicking butt, body slamming, jumping out of airplanes.
To me, action is that's actually a good question. I've never really thought about my own personal definition of the word action or what makes it action to me. But here goes some components that I would always put in an action, something that I would. Okay, number one, it has to have guns. It has to have an operator of guns. That means that the person who's operating the gun actually knows what he's doing. So there's those things of checking to make sure that the round is clear, to make sure that there's ammunition in the cartridge, to make sure that the safety is on, to make sure that the sights are clear and in good alignment. Uh, Vehicles, sports cars, well, even non-sports cars, but any kind of evasive maneuvering or tactical maneuvering with automobiles. In this particular case, we had a couple tanks, and we had some fighter jets
We
that
had
was
we
in
had
it.
tanks for sure.
Oh my goodness! And the fight, when they every time, I thought they were just gonna do it once, but they did it like 3-4 times. This, what did they call it? Uh, not a distraction. I need a show of force. So a show of force in this movie, I'm not even going to tell you guys what a show of force means. A lot of you guys know what a show of force means for the military to do, but when they called for a show of force and those jets came by, hey,
Oh yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
that say it was some people that was going to be a little bit scattered after those jets came by.
What you think about the men themselves, like the ones that was in the house? Then I forgot the actor's name. I'm a big fan of him, but I think he was in charge at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the help came, he had to tell this guy. He was like, "Hey,
Yeah,
I think I need you to take charge, or I need you to take lead." He was out of it.
it was really after that first grenade came inside the house. That's when he really got messed up in the head, and he admitted it. But he thought he could shake it off. But they kept, and that was another thing. The dude who was on the ground, who got his, after the explosion of the tank, and he was on the ground screaming his heart out. Um, that guy right there was still coherent. He still like almost had his marbles all together because he saw that dude that you're talking about, and he said, "Hey, what is he doing?" And they had to wake him up. You know what I'm saying? Because he was out of it, and he knew he was out of it, and that was real cool for him to tell the other lieutenant that he's out of it. Take over. You running point on this.
So it's like, even though I'm sure those guys go through tons and tons and tons of training, a lot of it still ain't it until you there, until you in the middle of
Until
it.
you were in the middle of it. I mean, at the end, they had a couple behind the scenes, some outtakes and behind the scene footage. So we got to see firsthand the real guys, um, or real military soldiers showing them and training them exactly what to do. So when it was all said and done, uh, they look like the real thing. They look 100% like the real thing. I believed them. I believed that was real military when I was watching it. To be
Could
honest with
you could you have done it?
you, heck
Could you
yeah.
could you have kept your cool? Is my question.
Oh, in it,
Yeah, if you in it, could you have kept your head on straight till y'all got out of there?
I can answer that question because I've actually been in situations like that in real life. I was overseas. I won't go into a bunch of details, but I was in Israel. I was in a red zone. There were the dogs that were barking, and they just start barking out of nowhere. And when those dogs bark, you know that something's about to go down, like in an hour or so. Then um, I was in a situation where grenades were being thrown. I saw people being hurt. So you only get, for me to be in that situation, I got about a good 3 days worth of training, and this included the training on the flight over there, what to do on the flight over there, what to do when I got to the office where they had to interrogate me before I go to this other point. So it was 3 days worth of training, and then a little bit more training once I landed. But when you're in it, like you said, when you're in it and it's happening, and if you really took your training seriously, then you're kind of just on autopilot and you're doing exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. Your receptors are just firing exactly what you're supposed to do, and then you're just doing that. It's kind of like muscle memory. Um, but yeah, man, if but the we talk about a lot, kids, teenagers, and how they like to mess things up, right? So sometimes you're in a situation like that where you have a bunch of training, but the people that are around you don't have any training, and you have to protect them. And they get hysterical and they lose their mind and they want to go to the right when we're supposed to go to the left. So, but you're trained for that also.
All right, one more question.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought about this, and I'm really interested in your take on this part.
Mm-hmm.
A part of that team that we just saw. Now, I'm sure it's many teams that go out and war zones like that and do the work, but there were no women in that specific group. Is it? You think it's just because it was just that team that was put together, or not? It wasn't no women with them.
This is okay. So this is what I found was real cool about the film, because when it started and I looked at them in the very beginning, the actors, I automatically do a racial profile of everybody, right? And I was like, yeah, that looks about right. About two African Americans, a few Hispanic looking, Latino or Hispanic looking guys, and then some cowboy, military white guys, strong jaws, and then a couple. They always put a couple like kind of nerdy looking guys in there. So from the beginning, it topped the list. Then at the end, when they showed them, one of the black guys was actually playing a white guy, and one of the white guys was actually playing a black guy, which I thought was super cool too. As far as the females are concerned, they're there, but they're not a part of the SEALs. The women are uh, definitely there organizing stuff. They just behind the scenes, man. It could have been a woman who was flying that jet for all we know. Um, it could have been a woman who had to clear the permission when he had to pretend he was somebody else, and then to push that along. There's definitely women there, and a lot of these guys, they're always thinking about their woman. But no, they were this particular group. It was no women in it. Ultimate guy movie, and I think anybody who really likes God movie, I would definitely take my chick to go see this.
You would.
Yes,
You
I
would
would.
take your girl to go see it,
I
bro.
would
It's
go there.
nothing sweet, pretty, no fashion, no beautiful music.
It would be one of those compromises. You come with me to go watch this, and I'll come with you to go watch Notebook 2.